would ask our secretary to call the roll, please.
Western Commissioner Hosey Blue.
Present.
Eastern Commissioner Bradley Jackson.
Present.
And let's do the pledge next. Lead us out, Mr. Jackson.
Be happy to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A little influx in your words
Are you good?
there today.
Miss
On
Erin.
D-Day.
I appoint Western Commissioner Hosey Blue as the presiding commissioner.
That
for
will
today's
be
meeting.
very nice of you, and I appreciate that. All right. Thank you all for being here. We have an agenda that's been printed. We'll be approving that as part of our consent agenda. Minutes for May the 30th, 2024 that have been read and appear to be in order. We'll be approving that. I do not have any indication of a financial this morning, unless someone sees something that I do not. And I do not believe there's any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda. So, given that, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
So moved.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries. We move to Auditor Dent, who is going to share with us a proposed budget amendment or amendments.
I presented those 2 weeks ago today. They have laid out per statute for the minimum 10 days. I have received no feedback, questions, or complaints on that.
Okay.
So we're just ready to approve if that is the route you gentlemen wish to take.
All right, and is there a particular way we refer to this? Is there a number associated with it or whatever?
No.
No. And I would entertain a motion to officially approve that budget amendment that has been laid out for the required number of days.
So moved.
I second the motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Dent. I believe that Director Bryant is going to bring something to us from Broker Services for property/casualty and workers' compensation.
I believe that was sent to you a few days ago by email. I
Yes.
will tell you, the auditor and I yesterday talked with Greg, and I'm going to share with you, we asked, the numbers are in there, but we asked for a breakdown for you so you can look at that. That is the breakdown of the actual premium charged. Premiums are actually not bad. It's the deductibles that are high. Spent a lot of time trying to make sure this is the best offer to present. We were out to bid. Janine even called places a couple of days before the bids were due. We only had one. Only Higginbotham came back, so it's the only one we had. But it's still on top of it. I wanted to make sure that the other insurance carriers had an opportunity, so I called, and this is the best we're going to get. With the high auto deductible and the high law enforcement, the legal side of that means that they're very, very high. They're higher than they've ever been. Greg also has told me, and I've heard it from a couple of people, that they have never seen that the cost of insurance is at an all-time high, higher than they've seen in 20, 25 years. But if you look at it, the auto, so we have to look at, would it be feasible to not even have it? Because at $10,000, which is what the deductible will be for autos, we have many vehicles that are not. We're going to end up fixing these ourselves. We're not going to hit the deductible on a lot of these. However, you have a lot of newer vehicles, like the sheriff's Tahoe, or I know Juvenile has them too. And if we would total one of those, we obviously would want that coverage. And if you take that out, you would save $76,000 if you went to liability only. I don't suggest doing it, but I did want to run the numbers. That's one of the reasons we looked at the breakdown to make sure. The actual premium was not shocking to me. That is under what Amy Dent had estimated and about $20,000 more than what we paid last year. I'll tell you that our experience modifier on workers' comp is low. We're doing very well there. That's not where our issues are. Our issues are with legal, which I'll be giving you more information in a closed section next week, where we're standing on some of the lawsuits that we're dealing with right now. And then we've had quite a few vehicle incidents. So that is one of the reasons this is the best offer. That, coupled with the fact that insurance is at an all-time high, this is where we're at. Do you have any questions?
No, not necessarily. I knew going into this that, insurance is a tough place right now, and I mean, I just renewed the insurance on my property. Basically, premium doubled, coverage dropped in half. Was told that, ride it out for a few years and it should correct itself. I hope that's the case, because you can't keep operating at those with those scenarios going in place for your premiums to go up and your coverage to go down. So, given the fact that there are areas in which we can work on certain things, especially with better driving habits on the auto side of things, and try to make sure that we're safer and we do things a little differently, that could probably help out. But it's just the way the market is right now. There's a lot of insurance companies that are pulling out of regions. There are some companies that aren't even working in the state of Missouri any longer. So
there were some that wouldn't even return our calls.
Yeah.
So I will show you on a bar graph. This is how we have been doing. This was 2020, 2021, 2022 was excellent. 2023 was good for the most part. It's what's pending 2024 that is, and you have to share all that information.
Sure.
So I was really excited when we went out, because I'm like, look how good we've been. It didn't really help as much this year.
Yeah.
I will tell you, every single claim that comes through, and from workers' comp to claim with a view, everything that comes through our office we look at, and we do an assessment of what we could have done better. And with the nature of the business we do, some of these are just not going to be something that we can control.
Sure.
So, I don't love these numbers, but we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And your recommendation is?
To go forward with Higginbotham and their proposal for the 2024-25.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Jackson,
not,
any other comments?
No, I was just going to say, there's not, when it comes to law enforcement, anything surrounding law enforcement insurance-wise is uncontrollable. You just don't know what's going to happen. It is what it is, as they say. And I would make a motion to approve entering into the insurance agreement with Higginbotham.
And when would that take place?
This goes to July 1. Our policy will end June 30th.
Okay. I second the motion. Any other comment? Ms. Amy, any comment from you?
It's just sad.
Yeah.
All right. Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion carries, and I thank you for that. Appreciate that. And we now have Purchasing Manager Hopkins' will on surplus property.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is the background. As you know, our Christian County purchasing policy, page 34, explains that the disposal of surplus property is managed by the purchasing department under the direction of the county commission, and so the Christian County Commission has the authority to sell surplus property under state statute by auction or sealed bid. So recently, the highway department retired 2 of their bucket trucks. We sold one last week. This week we sold another one. It was a 2005 F550 bucket truck. We advertised it from May 20th to May 30th on govdeals.com, which is a government public auction. We received 29 bids, and the truck sold for $8,700. I met the buyer Monday morning at 6:30, and he flew in from Florida to pick this up and drove it back. So, but we won about $8,700 for that. So this is just an FYI for both of you. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
No, ma'am.
So I also wanted to let you know that the IT department has given me a list of 43 monitors that we can no longer use because, number one, they're old, and we don't, with our new monitors, we have a different plug adapter. And so I would like to put those on GovDeals today. So I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. And you don't need us to make a motion on that. You're just informing
Just
us.
letting you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any comment, Mr. Jackson?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Sell high.
So,
Buy low, sell high.
We gotta offset some of this insurance cost.
That's right.
All right, and then I think if that completes that one, then she's going to be joined by Maintenance Supervisor Richard Teague about a contract.
Yes, Central Power Systems, we've been using them for years for our generator maintenance. We have a renewal up for the contract. The prices are all staying the same, which is great. It didn't have an increase, and I'm just asking that we renew that contract for Central Power Systems.
And just for the sake of myself and anyone else, where's the generator?
We have a generator over at the county jail,
Uh-huh.
a diesel generator, and at the circuit court building. We
Uh-huh.
also have a smaller generator to run the essentials when we have prisoners being housed over there for court. So that generator, they're all set up on automatic
Uh-huh.
timers that kick in automatically, but we do have to do the maintenance twice a year on it.
Okay. Any generator that has anything to do with this building?
No, we do not have one. That was removed around 20 years ago, 21 years ago, when they built the new Justice Center at that time. That generator was removed. I actually had the job of firing the old machine up when it was sold. It was stored down at the recycle center for years, and since it had sat there for many years without use, at the time the commission sold it.
Is there any of our information at risk because we don't have a generator here?
Yes, but that is why we're actively moving all of our equipment over to Building 3. We worked with Richard this past year
Uh-huh.
to get extra outlets put in the IT room and hooked into that generator. I believe we used the last possible fuses that were over there for that. And we're actively migrating from this building over to that building and looking at other resources since we don't have any backup of any sort in this building.
All right, thank you. Richard, is this, on this contract, does it have to be rebid at some point?
Kim, can you answer that?
Because it's below $12,000, it does not.
It does not. Okay. All right, any questions from you, Mr. Jackson?
Nope, I'd make a motion to pursue the contract renewal.
I would second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Planning Administrator, Page, right-of-way conveyance, North Ginger Lane and Commodore. Yes, sir.
This is a new subdivision that's going in just west of Nixa by DMP Development. They've worked through the process with us. They got approved by Planning and Zoning for their preliminary plat. They've built their road and met the highway standards construction for that. So we're just looking to add that into our road system for perpetual maintenance. They didn't want to keep it as a private road. They wanted the county to take it.
So it's going to be built to county specs?
Yeah, it's already completed.
It's already completed?
Yep.
We're good on that, Ms. Miranda?
Yes.
All right. And any question from you, Mr. Jackson?
No.
I entertain a motion to approve that right-of-way conveyance. Receiving of that.
So moved.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
I believe that we will stand in recess until 10 o'clock when there is a rezoning hearing, so that's about 15 minutes from now. Thank you all again for being here.
Sorry.
Not until I say we are.
I love it.
I like that.
Pull it.
It's
You
no-
are the man.
It ain't nothing till I call it.
That's
There was
good.
an umpire that said that one time. Okay, we're back in session. And we have, in this session, a consideration, indeed a rezoning hearing on case number 2024-0092, and the person is OPRIS.
Yes, sir. So this is a rezoning request from an R1 to an R2 zoning. So on the first page, you'll see an aerial shot with the parcel highlighted in question in blue. It's up on North 16th Street here, not in Ozark, but surrounded by Ozark, more or less. Surrounding land uses are duplexes on all sides, aside from the west side. That's just a wooded tract still. The next page will show you the surrounding zonings. Everything around it is R1. The applicant is requesting to change the zoning for about a quarter of an acre parcel to R2 to be lawfully developed and utilized for a primary use, which would be acceptable in that R2 district. Ideally, they're looking to try to build a duplex there if that works out for them. So some history. The property is Lot 61 of the Spring Valley Estates subdivision, which was platted in 1971. And the lot does not appear to have ever been developed or built on since the subdivision was platted originally. As far as our future land use plan, it notes it in the urban service area Tier 1 with the City of Ozark. Their future land use map would show this as appropriate for a mixed use area. Compatibility with surrounding parcels, it's surrounded by duplexes, and essentially going from R1 to R2 would allow for a duplex to potentially be built, so it should fit right in. It does have direct frontage on North 16th Street. No provisions for landscaping or buffering at this time. Any new construction would be permitted by the Building Inspections Department. It does not appear that there's currently an approach or access directly to 16th Street. That would fall in Ozark Special Road Districts. They would need to go through them for the driveway permit. Water and sewer would need to be provided by the city or municipality. The intent of the C2 zoning district is to not have well and septic there. It does appear that sewer runs in the back of the property. I can't tell if water is there or not by the city. I understand there may be a private water system in that area that they may be able to connect to. So we would have to have information on that before we could issue an appropriate permit for a duplex. Regardless, they could still build under this zoning a single-family home if they had to put a well or septic in or something. As far as stormwater goes, nothing that we would anticipate at this time due to rezoning. Same thing with groundwater, no known impacts. And floodplains or sinkholes, there's nothing mapped or known on the parcel at this time. Traffic impacts, again, really no expected impacts just due to rezoning here. And just another note, it is Ozark Special Road District that controls this section of roadway. So as for staff's comments, it would allow for the potential development of a duplex-style structure in a platted subdivision that's already surrounded by duplexes. As mentioned, it would need public utilities, but could still be single-family if public utilities can't be provided. And then the bottom portion there is just mentioning that this wouldn't create any sort of non-conformity with our code. The lot that exists is big enough to meet the minimums in our zoning code for any of that. As far as the planning and zoning meeting went, there was no public input. At that meeting, the applicant did speak to his intent to develop it into some sort of residential use. And at the P&Z meeting, the commission made a unanimous vote to recommend approval of this item. to you all. That's all I have. I will answer any questions that you may have.
The only question I have, it looks like on that the surrounding properties are R1.
Yes.
How do they have duplexes on them?
So I think that was the zoning designation that was given to those parcels in 2010 when we adopted our current zoning regs.
Right.
Zoning was assigned to every parcel
Right.
at that time, and so I think it just, in the mix, they didn't get maybe caught that they were duplexes and given an R2 zoning, and they were assigned an R1.
They were already in place at that time?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so since it was grandfathered in,
Mhm.
yeah, that was a curiosity question. Anything from you, Mr. Jackson?
Well, I have a couple of questions, I guess. In the comprehensive plan of the city of Ozark, this would be inside the city limits at some time in the future. You believe there is a sewer line that runs through the property?
So the layers I have from the city show sewer run through the backside, but they don't show water. Now, I don't know that I have the most up-to-date,
I believe that
layers.
information I believe that is supplied through the Spring Valley water system that the city of Ozark is in the process of taking over and becoming. So that being said, it'd be on water and sewer provided by the city of Ozark. It's inside the geographic regions of the city of Ozark. Why not it be annexed into the city of Ozark and become part of their system, if you will, because the plan and the master plan shows this as being part of the city limits in the future.
So I'm sure the city would require an irrevocable consent to annex if they provided utilities. At this time, it's not compact and contiguous, so it can't be.
Correct. Well, yeah.
It's very close. It's right across the road on the back of those other properties. It's like surrounded by it, but nothing's touching. So that's why I say they would probably require the consent to annex. That would be their decision for utility hookups. But
okay, so that'll be taken up with the city of Ozark when they connect to the services.
yeah, if they want to do public utilities, we're going to reach out to the city during the permitting process.
I don't see that they're going to get a permit for a septic tank with the sewer that close.
Yeah, probably not.
So, okay. These are just these areas that give me a little consternation, I guess, when I'm looking at the enforcement of laws in the county is a little bit different than the enforcement of laws in the city with regards to noise complaints, vegetation overgrowth, and we have several areas inside Christian County that should, for all intents and purposes, be inside the city limits of Ozark because all the services are provided, but yet we can't apply the same regulations as the city of Ozark. If you look at a Google photo, the property next door has overgrown weeds in their yard and would probably be a violation of the city's ordinance, but yet at the county we can't quite enforce the same when a complaint comes in from neighboring property owners. So those are the things that I'm always thinking about here, is kind of the long-range issues that are going to pop up. So that and a lot of areas that have been developed historically in the city of Ozark, they've left vacant lots between houses sometimes for purposes such as stormwater runoff. Do we know if any of the stormwater runs through that property from the higher elevations to get to that creek that's downstream?
I don't have any particular information on that or knowledge to that. I don't have the plat in front of me, but I don't believe there was any easements that ran through there or anything. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's got surrounded by duplexes, so it seems appropriate that it be permitted as such, but I really would prefer it to be in the city of Ozark, but that's not the case. So I would make a motion to approve the request for a zoning change on this property.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like saying aye. I'm sorry. All right. Any communications from you today, Mr. Jackson, related to the commission?
And not necessarily, just it's D-Day, so be thankful that we don't speak German, I guess. You know, thankful for all those
Dankeschön.
thankful for all those young men that went into harm's way to protect freedom.
Absolutely. All right, I have no communications. We stand adjourned.